The former president of Nigeria, Muhammad Buhari, has passed away at 82 in London due to prolonged illness. Now, the cause of his death is not disclosed, and that's not why we are here, neither are while we send our condolences to the people of Nigeria. We are here actually because I was reminded of by one viral statement from the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, at that time, and it was the statement was Africa is nothing but a cemetery. I might have paraphrased it, but he explains why the president said that. But first, let's unpack, let's say something about President Muhammad Buhari. He was former military member of Nigeria. Later on, he a converted Democrat who won the election, and in 2005 he became the president of Nigeria, served 2 terms, and he was in power until 2023. But it's known that for most of the time, President Buhari was outside of Nigeria for treatment. In fact, the total number of days that he was absent was 225 days. Most of the time, he get his treatment in Britain. So now let's say something about that, and I will come back why I was reminded of Vladimir Putin's statement saying Africa is nothing but a cemetery. Okay, so now the Nigerian president, Muhammad Buhari, he has led his country for 2 terms from 2015 till 2023. He died on July 13th, and now government of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, is the one who announced this. He said he spoke to the widow, his widow, meaning Buhari's widow, and also he has ordered the current vice president, to go to UK and to accompany the body of former President Buhari. So now, the most interesting thing that I would like to share with you is that there was a spokesperson who served also, during President Buhari time, and he also is the one, I think, for the first time he shared the days of the former president, and he wrote also a book actually, and in his book he confessed about Buhari's frequent medical visits for medical treatment during his presidency, and that attracted actually criticism from the people of Nigeria and the governments also that questioned the government's transparency at that time over his illness and worries about leadership during some of his longer absence. So now this of course says 2 things, but one of the things that he confessed is that it was so much so the criticism was high, so to divert the attention of the people, the spokesperson was forced to invent a story saying that, fabricating in 2017 a story about rats invasion at the presidential office to shift Nigerians' focus away from concerns over the leader's health. So when, for example, quote from his book, The Surge in Calls for Explanation of Why the President Would Be Working from Home if truly he had recovered his health and fit for the office, came then. The spokesperson said, quote, I said to the reporters that the office, which had been in disuse, needed renovation because rats may have eaten and damaged some cables. That's what he shared in his book. Now, enough about the days of President Buhari, and let's talk about, what this means. First of all, this shows us that Nigeria, the government of Nigeria, has failed the Nigerian people in terms of having that infrastructure, building a hospital with, having all the necessary things that doesn't make Nigerians to go out to look for medical treatment. So this is a failed system, and the weakness of the health system in the country. We all know that most of the Nigerians, there are more Nigerian doctors in the United States than in Nigeria itself, and these people they are the one, they studied in Nigeria and then later on outside, but they don't come back. So you literally have more Nigerian doctors in the United States and in UK than in Nigeria itself. That's one. Secondly, it shows you Africa is for these leaders, or, not even leaders are real leaders. So for these governments or heads of states, Africa is nothing but a cemetery. And let me share that statement from Vladimir Putin. Look, some say this statement is not said by him. It doesn't matter, but it's true for us. So it serves now what I'm going to say. Look, Vladimir Putin said, when an African entrepreneur becomes rich, he will send his money and gold to Switzerland, that's in banks in Geneva. And he is going to France for medical treatment. He is a rich man, invests in Germany, buys houses. This also works for the governments, buys houses in Dubai, and they consume Chinese products, and they pray in Mecca, in Rome, in the Middle East, in Jerusalem, and their children are studying in Europe and Canada, and they change their citizenship. They become Western nationalities. They travel to Canada, USA, and all over Europe for tourism and even for shopping. And when that rich person or his children or her children die, they will be buried in their home country, the country that they did not care when they were presidents or when they were, rich. Okay, so Africa is nothing but a cemetery for Africa. So how would they develop a country that they have just turned it into a cemetery? This is, let us be real, is very true, and this is a reality of our continent. The rich people, the governments, and most of those people are just exactly doing what this statement has, what I've just read for you. Anyway, let us know in the comment section, what do you think of this and why it is so hard to strengthen our health system and build hospitals that, this is also investment. Even our own rich people, why don't they see it as one of a profit-making industry, or I don't know, or a system? Why? I mean, even private hospitals, something that we don't have to travel outside for a treatment. Yeah. Right now, relatively better treatments are in South Africa, but even that is not really enough. Well, let us know in the comment section, what do you think of this? That was it for now. Thank you very much again. Bye-bye.